But we were coming out of Egypt one time, and Abbas and Mustafa were good friends, and I had met Zaki a bunch of times, and you just love him. And you love him. And so Abbas asked me to go into Iraq through Syria, and then go from there into the Lebanese valley of Baalbek, while the Israelis were attacking the people in the field. And they wanted to know and what Zaki wanted to know was how is he going to go from Syria into Lebanon with all the issues that's going on in the Middle East. Abbas told me it would be no problem. And just to make it easier, he and I would go ahead on the same route that Zecharia went. So we go through Damascus, we go to Iraq, we come back to Palmyra, and then we head to Lebanon at the Syrian border. Well, we got arrested. And we spent 9 hours waiting to get the American Embassy to get us out of this. And the whole time, Abbas talked about what Zecharia would be doing if he had been in that bus. So I advise you, if you're going from Syria into Lebanon to the Sea Baalbek, make sure all your stamps are appropriate. And I'm glad it was Abbas and me instead of you and Abbas.
Many people have asked me over the years, so how did you get interested in the unusual and the paranormal, the investigative work, ancient astronauts? How did you get interested in that? And I pulled up this book, The 12th Planet, which was, of course, part of the series of Zecharia Sitchin's Earth Chronicles that just mesmerized me. I couldn't put this down when I read this many, many years ago. The theories of Sumerians and visitations from another planet just truly astounded me, and I needed more information. And so I got another one of his books, and then another one of his books. And the theories and his work just amazed me. This night, though we're going to honor Zecharia Sitchin, is very important for me because of all the years I've interviewed him on my program, this is the first time I've had a chance to meet him.
We met on the air many times. But...
Oh, we did. We met on the air many times. I'm going to give you the formality of a little bit of his life. Zecharia Sitchin was born in 1920. Now you add that up. 90 years old. He looks better than me. He was born in Baku, Russia, raised in what was then called Palestine. He's the author, of course, of many books theorizing human origins involving ancient civilizations. Zecharia Sitchin attributes the creation of the ancient Sumerian culture to the Anunnaki, a race of aliens from a planet he calls Nibiru, which he believes to be an elongated 3,600-year elliptical orbit in Earth's own solar system. There's another planet out there, and a big one, and it goes around every 3,600 years. As a matter of fact, a few weeks ago when he was on Coast to Coast, we were trying to theorize when was it coming back again. I think we've got about 1,000 years to worry about that.
Yeah, you'll stand correct.
I'm not arguing with you. Now, he's acquired some knowledge of modern and ancient Hebrew, other Semitic and European languages, the Torah, and the history and archaeology of the Near East. Zecharia Sitchin graduated from the London School of Economics, University of London, majoring in economic history. He's a journalist, editor in Israel for many years, and of course he now lives in New York City, where, as I mentioned, he braved the blizzard to get here. He doesn't travel that often. His books have been widely translated, converted to Braille for the blind, and he has been featured on numerous radio and television shows. His DVD series are just absolutely stunning. If you have not had an opportunity to read his works or look at his works, you're truly missing something. And also, I'd like to share with you a letter that we have from Eric von Daniken, which is truly outstanding, coming from Switzerland, where Mr. von Daniken lives. And it's addressed to me. Dear George Noory, I admire Zecharia Sitchin since his first book. Now, while some of the media crashed me down and did not take my Chariots of the Gods serious, they finally had to accept Zechariah's work. Zecharia is the most intelligent and honest researcher in the field of ancient astrology. And his works are accepted and respected worldwide. I am very happy to have a colleague like Zecharia, and I wish him a long life in best health. With best regards, Eric von Daniken. It is with great honor that we award today the very first Conscious Lifetime Achievement Award to Mr. Zecharia Sitchin. I had nothing to do with that.
Will you read it?
Yes, I will. Los Angeles Conscious Life Expo is proud to present the Lifetime Achievement Award to Zecharia Sitchin for his decades of breakthrough research into the mysteries of the past and the origins of civilization. From Robert Quicksilver and the staff of the Conscious Life Expo, and from you.
I'd rather stay. Not so much so they could see me, but that they could see them. I could see them. It is naturally an honor and a great pleasure to receive an award of any kind, especially to be handed this award by someone of the reputation and standing in the field that we are discussing is George Noory. I don't know how many of you know that he stepped into the program, the shoes of Art Bell, who started this Coast to Coast AM at the crazy hours, especially on the East Coast. It's running to what, 2 a.m.?
Yeah.
And I think that George has very ably continued the tradition of Coast to Coast being the premier program, the outstanding program dealing with the subject not just of ancient astronauts, UFOs, and all the other things that are generally looked upon as pseudoscience or fringe science or whatever. appreciate the award, but the fact that you have come to give it to me. Now, this whole thing happened when I was asked to come again. I was here at the Expo a year ago, and a year ago I came to make a point, to prove a point, because the previous time to last year, I was supposed to come to LA and give one of my own weekend seminars, and I had to be canceled at the last minute because I needed an emergency heart bypass operation. So after several years, when I was asked if I want to come and speak at the last year's event, I felt that for my own sake as well as for those who come to hear me, I have to come back and be in Los Angeles again, which I did. So this year, when the program director, Tim, contacted me again and said, Zecharia, how about it? I said, Tim, forget it. I did it once and that's it. And so then the organizers, I don't know what's Robert's title.
Robert Quicksilver, the producer.
King. The producer.
King.
The king. In Los Angeles, everyone is a producer. Robert Quicksilver, who put this whole thing together, called me and said he understood that in one of my conversations with him, the program director, I mentioned that I said, you know, it's difficult for me to travel these days, especially I have to take off my shoes, so I have to make sure that the socks have no holes, and take off the belt. So, you know, leave me alone. So he said, Robert said, but I understand that you mentioned to Tim that you will be, in this year, 2010, 90 years old. I said, yeah, well, let me see if I born in 1920, so yeah, I'll be 90 years old. So he said, we have a great idea. We want to give you a lifetime achievement award if you'll come. So I came. This award is important and welcome, and it is not a Nobel Peace Prize or any other prize. Although I want to tell you I'll tell you two true stories in connection with this Nobel Prize. One is about 2 months or 2-3 months ago. I had lunch with Dr. James Watson, one of the discoverers of the double helix DNA. And there was somebody else there who arranged this luncheon. And as I came in and we started to talk, he wanted to make sure that I know with whom I'm dealing. So he says to me, Mr. Sitchin, I want you to know that I'm 81 years old. So I said to him, Dr. Watson, in that case, I have not one but 2 disappointments for you. The first disappointment is that I'm 89 years old. So I'm not impressed by your insistence. And then said he wishes that he would be as agile, etc., so I'm at his age. And then I said that the second one is that the discovery for which you received the Nobel Prize together with his colleague, Francis Crick, is that the DNA is a double helix, was already known in Sumer 6,000 years ago. And showing the Sumer in the picture on a statuette. So he looks at it and he says, well, I'm not giving up the prize. Okay, I'll give it between us. But that's one Nobel, I think. And the other is that I get letters, I get calls, uninvited calls on my phone. I don't know how people find the phone number. And some of them are from all over the world. And it's amazing how people have no real notion of the time difference. So I get a call like in the middle of the night. I answer the phone. And so from Australia is calling. I said, do you know what time it is in New York? So he says, it's afternoon here. Okay, so one day, a few months ago, I wake up around 3 a.m. and the phone rings, and I said, it's not some other, I don't want to use the word, I call it in my mind, who is calling me from who knows where, and I'm not answering the phone, and the phone kept ringing, and I looked at the clock, and it's 3 a.m. So finally I got up, and by the time I got to the phone, well, it was the hung up. Okay. And then, the next day, I read in the papers that the various Nobel Prizes were announced, and that the recipients were called around 3 a.m. from Oslo or from Sweden to be told that they are the winners. So I thought to myself, now, what are the rules if they choose the winner and call to tell him, and he doesn't pick up the phone? So they go to the next thing. So, to this day, I don't know. Told me, really, on that Monday. Since it is the year of my birth, I am not telling exactly when this year is my birthday, because I don't want all this horoscopic business. But I did get two very important presents. One is, and I'll hold it up, is this book, The 12th Planet, in Chinese. Out of the press, I got it about three or 4 days ago, and it's The 12th Planet in Mandarin, published in China. Now that's the 25th language, and in my most wild or optimistic dreams, I would have never thought that my books would be published in China. So this is the first one. They are publishing all of them every 2 months, a book. And the other one, which some of you here have mentioned, is that the New York Times devoted a whole page to me on January 5th. And this is not only a tribute to me and a great achievement, because in case you don't know, the New York Times is a slightly more important than the Oshkosh Daily News. But the headings that they gave to the story indicate, in my judgment, and I know who they sent to interview me and to photograph me, etc., was a major production. The headings that they gave were not just about me. This is some old guy who writes books that were translated, not translated. Take off my glasses. The headings they gave is Origin of the Species from an Alien View. And subtitle is about me. He has sold millions of books telling of visitors from the planet Nibiru who set humans on their evolutionary path. So for the New York Times to publish this story and give it these headlines means that there is a shift, which maybe you will notice that finally the mainstream media to whom the subject was either taboo or a matter of making fun of, those fringe nuts. But finally, the publication, the daily, that sets the tone for all the others is that evidence can no longer be ignored. And I think that's the achievement of this article published on the day of my birthday.
Zechariah's panel is tonight. Okay? Tonight. Those of you who are still here.